Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. I'm Matt here, and this is United Across the Globe. We talk all things Man United. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a very great, interesting show talking about positivity. No, because it's really crap the fact that we are out the Champions League. And it's the first time since, I think, 2005, 2006 that we finished bottom of the group. We'll get into that. Apologies for not coming on straight away. I've had problems with lighting, etc. So I've set up a light as well. So if you see like hints of shade, etc., I can't do shit about it. But you know what's coming right now, ladies and gentlemen? It's the intro. Yes, everybody, welcome back to United Across the Globe, the show where we talk all things United. I'm hating the lighting at the moment. So basically, I had a problem with my screen, my laptop screen. I had to get it replaced very quickly because I'm going away like in 2 weeks' time, and I needed to get my laptop sorted so I can get Christmas presents, etc., etc. And basically, it needed a new screen and needed a new back cover for the laptop lid. I get it back. I put my camera on, and it's as dark as ever. Basically, you couldn't see my face. I had every single light on, and I'm like, God, I got to get out these bloody studio lights now. So that's why you can see like shade and all that. So apologies for the lighting. Please do tell me if it's not good or if it's okay. Please do let me know, because I can't quite tell from your side. From what I'm looking like, it looks dead awful. Just like Man United's performance last night against Bayern Munich. Let's crack into that. But before we do, I just want to present to you the people that we're in partnership with. And that's GalassoKits.com. If you go check them out, really good website selling retro kits, new kits from all over the world. Look, as you can see here, Rangers, Canada, away, Nigeria dress. Okay, that's a new one. Montserrat, Brazil, training tops from 1986. Look, Grampus 8 there. Look, Japan, got loads here. Seattle Sounders 2018. Loads of stuff you can go and get. There are discounts as well if you check out our FITA show. We haven't done one in like 3 or 4 weeks. I think probably because Fluminense won the Copa Libertadores, and since then Mali's been partying hard because they're in the World Club Cup and they take it very seriously. It was the first time they won it. We might be able to squeeze a FITA show in before the end of the new year. I hope so, but if not, we'll get it sorted again after New Year. No worries at all, because it's one of my favorite shows on the channel. Let's crack into it then. It's only going to really be a quick vlog, and to be honest, we all know where we're starting. Champions League exit, bottom of the group. Copenhagen going through. They beat Galatasaray 1-0 yesterday. And look, Man United needed to get the win against Bayern Munich and hope that result came in the other fixture. But Man United did not show up. Of course, they didn't show up against Bournemouth as well. What's going on at Man United? What is the problem? What's the issue? Why are players not playing for the shirt? Because they're clearly not. They're not playing for the fans either, which really annoys me, because I feel like players, especially at Man United, they always scapegoat the managers. And this is the reason why we get rid of so many people. And we've gone through so many managers, like from high-ranked managers to decent upcoming managers to people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that probably shouldn't be managing. No offense to Ole. I love him as a person and as a player for Man United. He is a legend of Man United. Of course he is. I mean, scoring in the FA Cup and the Champions League that year that we got the treble. You can't say that he isn't. Well, you can. It's opinion, but that's a really good opinion from me, and there's a lot of fact into it. But you've got to blame the players. You've got to blame the players. Now, look, I'm wearing, my brand new Christmas jumper. Look, praising Santa for delivering presents. That's his job. Gotta love players like Roy Keane, ain't you? And the reason why we love Roy Keane is because that guy literally did everything for the club, on the field, off the field, in the dressing room. It'd go into players if they weren't like pulling their weight. We lack that. Man United lack that as a football club. We lack having anyone in there that really knows and understands the history and the philosophy of how our club and how our teams want to play. I haven't seen this for a very long time, and it seems to me we had a very good season last year with Erik ten Hag. It looked great. It looked rosy. Winning the Carabao Cup with him as well. Yes, okay, it's the crappiest cup you can win out of the four. Of course it is. But at the same time, winning the cup and as your first season and rebuilding, it looked really good. And I said this to like Brush, etc. on shows before. For some reason, I think it was the Newcastle game after the Carabao Cup game, so in the Premier League, it just seemed to go downhill from then. And it is, to me, it's the players. I'd have to put in a little bit of Erik ten Hag's been buying some of these players in as well. So I kind of feel like, what's going on there? Like, how comes you're buying these players and they're not actually playing for you? Which is very strange. Usually when you're a manager and you've had experience like Ten Hag, who's been working at Bayern Munich, he's obviously been a manager at Ajax, and he did a stint obviously at FC20 as well with Steve McLaren. So he's been around, he knows players, he knows what he wants, but it doesn't look like it, does it? It doesn't look like it at all. It looks to me like he's sort of got no one there helping him to recruit players. And I think I heard something about Mo Salah going to Liverpool. He wasn't actually on Jurgen Klopp's list. The scouting and the recruitment came up to him and said, look, this is the sort of player that likes to play the football that you like to play. So give him a go. Like, would you like to go for it? And the rest is history, isn't it? I think Man United are lacking that. And I know everyone's saying, well, what about the team last night? You're talking literally about transfers now and talking about getting the right people in, like who can buy the right players, etc. Of course, but who can get anything out of this team right now? I tell you, if you even get Pep Guardiola in, he wouldn't be able to do anything with them. Nothing at all. I think the difference with when Pep took over Man City and Erik ten Hag took over Man United, the difference is that, Pep inherited a decent team, like a league winning team. Yeah, they weren't really still doing great in the Champions League at that point, but it just needed a little bit of tweaking. Whereas Erik ten Hag we heard from Ranić as well, it needed an overhaul, a complete overhaul. And have we done that? Kind of done that, but we brought in players that actually are pretty much the same standard or mentality as the players we want to get rid of. You look at Anthony. I was hearing I can't remember his name now. Tim Vickery, actually, that's the name. Who was talking about Anthony earlier, and just they're underwhelmed about him in Brazil. To be fair, so I kind hearing it from Brazilians, not really thinking that he was going to be a good fit for Man United. And it's probably a big leap from him going from Ajax to Man United. I just don't think it's going to work out. And with all the turmoil, etc., with everything that's been going on with him and the ladies in Brazil, etc., which he seems to be clear of right now. Let's put that into perspective. But it hasn't helped, I don't think, mentality-wise. So I just don't think it's going to really work out for Anthony. And it's really weird because you'd think playing under Erik ten Hag, he'd go, yeah, definitely Anthony's like a devil. He's a Man United player. Like, he'll be able to do exactly what Man United players have done in the past, like Kanchelskis, Ronaldo, Giggs, etc. Be able to try and take players on and get crosses in to someone like Højlund, who likes getting crosses in because he's tall, he's aggressive, and he's strong. But he doesn't get fed very well, does he? from the wingers. And we know Rashford hasn't been playing good recently either. And I know everyone still bigs him up. I know people on the Man United agenda, big up to you lot as well. We have a difference of opinion when it comes to Rashford, but I've always said this now. He's nowhere near the levels of Mbappe. He never really has been. He's been on the way to getting there, but he's never really fulfilled it. Mbappe is a different class to Rashford. I don't think Rashford ever is going to be a world-class player. And I don't necessarily, that's not his fault. I think people put his name on a pedestal like they have with a lot of other players in the past. And you can't do that, really. You know, you've got to be doing it consistently every single year to be able to say, right, okay, this guy is a world-class player. He's not. I personally think Rashford should go. I really do. I don't think he's the sort of person that is really interested in Man United, even though he's from Manchester. He doesn't show it, really. It's crazy. It's not so hard to like track back and run and like work for the ball and push people about. I mean, he doesn't really have even the captaincy sort of feel to me, Marcus Rashford. So I'm not really sure about him and his future at Man United, but I just don't think he really has one. Anthony Martial as well. Tell you what, I mean, how many chances is he going to get at Man United? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. How many more times is he going to be getting games, etc.? He does not care about the club. He only cares about picking up the wages that he's picking up, because Sevilla, they took him in and they didn't even want to buy him. They didn't even want him. So how comes we got him back? Because we can't get him off the books. But I think he's for a free, isn't he, this summer? So this is a good thing. We can get rid of Martial as well. I think these are the situations. I mean, you got to give credit to Bayern Munich. They knew exactly what they were doing. They kept it 0-0 first half, and they were waiting for Man United to open up in the second half, and then they took advantage. A really good finished goal. It was unfortunate from Harry Kane not to get a second there with the header that just tucked right behind the right-hand post. But yeah, I mean, look at Bayern Munich doing it. Look how much money Bayern Munich spend on their players. I mean, okay, they spent a fair bit on Harry Kane, didn't they? But we spent 90 million on Anthony. And I know, look, we were never going to get Harry Kane. Everyone's saying, well, we could have got Harry Kane last season and we let him go to Bayern Munich. We didn't let him go to Bayern Munich. Daniel Levy was not going to sell Harry Kane to Man United. No ifs, no buts. It wasn't going to happen to anyone in the Premier League. Not even Aston Villa, not even bloody Luton, who just got promoted. He wouldn't, you know what I mean? He was not selling to anyone in the Premier League. So you've got to put that aside there. He was going to go to Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or somewhere like that. He was never going to a Premier League club. So I don't know. I don't think you can throw that into the equation. That's the reason why we were so crap this season when it comes to Champions League. Evening, Matt says Early Doors Football TV. Hope you're well. I'm doing all right, mate. How's the screen look, everybody? I hope it's looking all right. You got me a present? Absolutely not. I left it under your pillow, actually, if I did give you one. I hope it doesn't smell too much. Anthony says, the background okay is you, Matt. That looks bloody awful. Yeah, I bet it's me. I always look awful, mate. Some fans are saying Ten Hag job is on thin ice. Thoughts? Well, it is. It always is. I mean, a manager at Man United getting knocked out in the way that they did, finishing bottom in that group, which, like, to be fair, apart from Bayern Munich and, yes, a dodgy away tie against Galatasaray for any club can always be difficult, but you should still easily get through that group. The fact that we only got 4 points out of 6 games shows you how absolute dog shit we were. And he's always going to be on thin ice. No matter whether we know that the problems with the players and the problems with the board and upstairs and the people that are recruiting people in, we know that's the problem. But if you're the manager, you're still on thin ice. You're still meant to try and get the best out of the players as you can. And you've got to remember, a lot of these players, they didn't drop down tools like 3 or 4 years ago. It was like they sometimes pick up their tools and get back to work, and then they drop them again. I don't know. There's a bad mentality around Man United with the players we've got, and like I said, the background staff, etc. Not only that, the fact that the takeover from Ed Woodward still not Ed Woodward, sorry, it's I always say that, Sir Jim Radcliffe is still going on. So there isn't really anyone that can pull Ten Hag into the office and give him a right grilling and saying, what on earth happened last night? There is actually no one there to be able to do that, because if they've got someone new coming in with, a 25% stake, and this person wants to be the person in charge of on-field decisions, etc., and who they recruit in. Yeah, that sounds right. We don't have any of that at the moment. I don't see the Glazers pulling Erik ten Hag into an office and just saying, what on earth happened there last night? I really want to know what your structure is going forward, because at this moment in time, there is no philosophy. There's no way that Man United are playing with an identity. It's literally just, it's a hit and miss. You just don't know what you're going to get every time Man United play. And, I was even saying with some people yesterday, it's one of those things where we'll lose 3-0 to Bournemouth and then we'll go on to beat Bayern Munich. We didn't. But that just completely shows the road that Man United are going on, which is literally nowhere. We're on a road that you can't see the end. And it feels like the end might be there. We might be actually finding somewhere to actually end up, but we don't. Carries on down that same road. And I just, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't surprising, the result yesterday. Really wasn't surprising. I think what surprises me the most is the fact that the Glazers are sitting on a gold mine. Man United, the name, the brand, is as big as like Real Madrid. It's as big as the Dallas Cowboys. It's huge. It's as big as bloody the New York Yankees. It's a massive brand. All right. And that's because of the success that we had on field. It's absolutely the only reason why that is a big brand. You can't say that for the rest of the teams that I've just said, because they might not actually be doing well or have been doing well in a very long time. But it's still, Dallas Cowboys is still like a Nike brand. People buy Dallas Cowboys stuff just because it's a big name. Man United have got that, but it's slowly trickling down, and other teams are punching up above their weight, which they could take over that step from Man United at some point. I really do feel it. It's not going to last forever that so many people are going to be like, yeah, but it's Man United. They had so much success in like the 90s and the late 60s, etc., etc. So everybody knows their history, and it's always going to stay like that. I don't think it is. I know Man City have been, have got charges, etc., against them and that, but their profits that they've been making over the last 2 or 3 years, absolutely tremendous, because they're getting around the world globally more support from young people, because that's what they're watching, that's what they're seeing. I remember when I was younger and I picked Man United when they weren't so great, but you could see they were starting to get better. And I was only probably about 4 years old, so this is about 1990 when I started supporting Man United. We were still not a very good team. Yes, we were doing a little bit better. We were getting at that point into Cup Winners' Cups, etc. When we played Barcelona and that. So you could see like the evolution of Man United, like sort of maybe not doing what they actually did, because I think no one could have predicted that, what Sir Alex Ferguson did for the rest of time from 1992, 93 onwards. But you could see like we were going to get back up to a position where we would compete and we might win a Premier League every 2 or 3 years. Do you know what I mean? It was even better than that. But Man United right now, honestly, I can't even see us even winning pre-season tours. You know what I mean? Evening, early doors. United's next 3 games could be the deal breaker. Anthony away to Liverpool, West Ham, and then home to Villa Boxing Day. Not easy games, but a long shot. It had to be, didn't it? Early doors. The fact that, you go out the Champions League, who's your next game to bounce back? Liverpool. And how well have we done against Liverpool in the last 2-3 seasons? Not so good. I remember the lovely days when we'd go to Anfield with Juan Mata and Hernandez. Remember that game, people? That kind of bicycle kick from Juan Mata. Beautiful days. Beautiful days. But even then, Man United was still trying to get back to where it was. But we were still competing against a really good Liverpool side at that point. But Liverpool have just shot on since getting Jurgen Klopp in. And What have we done? 10 years. Like, it's taken 10 years and we still haven't sorted out all of our problems. How can it take 10 years with a club as big as ours? How can it take so long to just sort out these problems? As if the Glazers really do give a shit, and if they really do want to sort out the football club and get us winning again, because it really isn't that hard to do, and it just would take a little bit of money. And not only that, because you hear like people like Simon Jordan going, well, you know, Man United, they've spent bloody. They spent 400 million in the last two. Do you know that money that they spent in the summer transfer windows, especially this year, was borrowed money. It was borrowed money. The fact that we still owe Santander like 700 million and they're asking for that money back as well goes to show you that this literally for the Glazers is all about pocketing as much money as they can. They can leave it in debt and then just take all the money if they want to. It's crazy. The only way that Man United is ever going to sort its situation out and move on and, you know, evolve is by getting rid of the Glazers. It really is. Why? Because you need people in there that own it, that care about it, that actually care about it. Please, someone in the chat, please tell me if you think that the Glazers actually care about it. You're sitting on a gold mine. It's like, what is it? I don't know. It's hard to like put it in a different way, but it's just a waste. It's a waste. Like, everybody knows that they don't care. You can clearly see they don't. They didn't even say anything about Bobby Charlton when he died. He's a legend of the football club. They've probably met him so many times. He's sat on the board. They didn't even put a statement out. Nothing at all. It's absolutely ludicrous. Honestly, you name me any other club in the country, when their legend dies, that their owners wouldn't at least say something. They wouldn't at least go to the funeral. And yes, I get people who say they're damned if they do, damned if they don't, because people go, oh, you don't really care, blah, blah, blah. But still, I still think you'd have to come out and say something, surely. If you really cared about someone, you'd do it anyway. You wouldn't care what the public thought. In fact, I wouldn't be going, like, don't care hearing from you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear, like, how you feel about the past players, etc. You hear Roy Keane. Shout out to Roy Keane. You hear about Roy Keane as well, and he sees it exactly like I see it. It's just the mentality. People turning up late, the fines that that Matic was talking about. People, like, you know, racking up £80,000 worth of fines for being late. And then that money was obviously apparently going to go on to having some big party in London. So what's that teaching anybody, really? Honestly, the mentality of Man United is terrible. It's so terrible that sometimes I just feel like going to support FC United of Manchester and doing exactly what the ex-fans did when the Glazers came in, because they could see that coming, couldn't they? And then another thing that really annoys me, I did say it on a show previously on United Across the Globe, the fact that people are not really bothered about what happened last night. They're not bothered at all. It's like, oh, well, you know, okay, it is what it is. What? Where's that mentality you've gone? Like, honestly, absolutely bloody bonkers. It was only going to be a quick vlog, and I just wanted to rant a little bit there, which I pretty much have. Who else we got in here? Anthony says, press the like button, people, and subscribe. Yes, please do that. Totally agree on that. Thank you, mate. Truly does, but I can only... Oh, sorry, I'm going backwards here. I know, man, I'm missing Martinez in defence, but Anthony, Rashford and Bruno are not at the standard they should be. They're not really, mate. I mean, Bruno is a captain as well. I honestly do not think he's a captain as well. Throwing your arms up and his tantrum. Honestly, if I was in the camp of Man United at training, I'd be kicking them up and down the pitch. All those players, mate. I don't care how much money I'd be on. Honestly, you either love playing the sport or you don't. You know what I mean? And if you're just picking up a wage, then just get out of the club. But who's going to get them out of the club? Because we're not really good at selling players, are we? We allowed Phil Jones to stay there how long, and how many times did he play? Sometimes I just feel like it's a holiday camp for people. Yeah, press the like, everybody. Geordie, how are the lads, mate? Good luck to Newcastle tonight. You fully deserve to go through. I hope it all goes well. How are you, Geordie? Big up, Niall. Anthony says Hoyland only got 1 goal in 12 games. Thought he'd be on a bit of better form, to be honest. I know it's his first season in the Prem. Maybe try and get someone in that can link up with him. Exactly what I said. He's not getting the distribution, is he? He's come into a club and he's like, God, bloody hell. This is Man United. Like, this is the club that I support. It is absolutely bonkers. It absolutely is. But there you go. What can you do about it, mate? What can you do about it? Anthony, sometimes a player joins a club and just doesn't fit you out. Absolutely happens. Like Sebastian Veron, didn't really happen. Brilliant player. Diego Forlan, brilliant player. Didn't really happen. Does. Falcao, brilliant striker. Never really happened. Didn't happen at Chelsea either. Sometimes it does, but I think the things like Falcao and that, they're kind of panic buys, if you ask me. Anthony sometimes play. Oh, yeah, sorry. I just read that. Yeah, time will tell, but I have read Man United hasn't got any money to spend in January. But they always say that. What do you mean they haven't got any money to spend? Because they keep borrowing money off of other banks and bloody blahs to do these summer transfers when people don't even realise they're not putting in their own money and they're not even putting in the money that Man United make. They're putting the club on more debt to spend in the summer for nothing, mate. Just to sell a few more shirts, maybe, and get a few more things sold, but like getting them more recognised on social media as well, because they make a lot of money just by posting crap. It's been a bad time for the Matabator. All right, fair enough, mate. Man United not doing well. Santos relegated. Hugs, Matt. Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, Santos got relegated for the first time ever. And they're the team that I support as well. But when you got like cheating clubs like Bahia, who are owned by Man City, you know, at the end of the day, we'll be back, mate. Where Bahia going to go? Cuz nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. City cheats. Anyway, that's pretty much it. My rant over that. We didn't even make Europa League. We don't deserve it. We didn't deserve the Champions League. We didn't deserve Europa League either, to be fair. And we don't actually deserve to get in the Champions League or Europa League next season. Bloody hell, I don't even think we're going to get in the Champions League. Europa League, the Conference Europa League will be the push. There's no way we're going to go back into some great form after the new year. No chance. And like Anthony just said, like apparently there's no money for January. Apparently they said they want to get in players. Like I said, there is no one really there behind the scenes to be able to help Erik ten Hag identify the best players to bring in. So he has to get the best out of what he's got. Yes, some players are going to be able to come back. There's a problem with Varane too. Between Erik ten Hag, really want to know why you're not playing who was at one stage one of the top 5 centre-backs in the world, who's won how many Champions Leagues and a World Cup. I know that was a few years back, and he's at the end of his tether. Of course he is, but he's still better than Lindelof and Maguire, which rolls us into the next topic. And I've not got very long left because my battery is going to die. Tune in Thursday. Gunners from all corners. Me, Marley, and True Gunner will be on that show. Yeah, tomorrow, that is, by the way. And I'm on tomorrow as well with Brush at around 6 o'clock p.m. We're talking Champions League for our show, La Ligue des Champions. We're just going to run through the group, see who's been put into the knockout stages, see who's gone into the Europa League, and see who's completely gone out. Well, we know Man United have, so that's already one done for you there. But he's a Man United supporter, Brush, as well, so big up to him. That'll be on tomorrow at 6 o'clock. But Gunners from all corners, who, of course, are playing tonight in the Champions League, are already through. And there's a little stat as well. The last time Man United were bottom of their Champions League group, Arsenal went on to the final to face Barcelona. So can they keep up with that stat? Can they do it? Let's see. Early doors. Thumbs up. Cheers. Arsenal in the next round. Yeah, bloody Arsenal, eh? Bloody Arsenal. Just one more quick thing before we go. Just wanted to talk about Harry Maguire, Premier Player of the Month. And people were shocked by that. I mean, I kind of was too. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have been too shocked if they said Man United Player of the Month, but when I saw it was Premier League Player of the Month, I was like, what the actual duck? And he probably actually is, to be fair. Who else can you pick out in Man United's team at this moment in time, or in the last 4 or 5 weeks, that's the best player at Man United? Even that's difficult. I can't actually pick you somebody. I couldn't even pick you a captain. If Bruno Fernandes was not playing, I couldn't even pick you a captain who could take him over. Maybe Luke Shaw, but him being injured quite a lot recently, who else would you pick? It's difficult. So I think that just goes to show you Premier League Player of the Month, Harry Maguire. You know, I guess it was because we didn't concede a lot during that month, etc. But I don't know whether he deserved to get Premier League Player of the Month. There's been plenty more better players. Probably, like I said, best player for Man United probably in the last month, because that's hard to actually answer, isn't it? But player of the Premier League of the month, and Eric Ten Hag got Manager of the Month, and he's on thin ice. It's so easy, these teams that we've played, though. You're scraping past Brentford and etc. The only game that really convinced me we had a good performance recently was against Everton. And that was a really difficult game because it was away. It was at Goodison Park. Everton have been deducted their 10 points as well. So they were coming out roaring, trying to get back those points that they've had stolen from them, which is what the fans and people around the club would like to suggest. They needed to come out with a bang, and we managed to get a really good 3 points. And Garnacho probably scored one of the best goals so far in the Premier League this season. It's probably the best game we've played this season, to be honest. We're not very good against the top 4 teams around us. We're not even very good against, teams like Bournemouth. Luton was a bit scrapey. But mind you, Luton have done quite well against some of the big teams. But yeah, Harry Maguire, Premier League Player of the Month, apparently last month. So there you go. Strange things, isn't it? I don't know what that was, a joke or whatever. And Eric Ten Hag as well, being Manager of the Month. It's very strange. Very strange indeed. Oh, my guy's come in, and I'm going to get in a nice bath. I absolutely am. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It was a quick vlog on my own, just to kind of vent and just let people know how I feel about it and who I think to blame is. So if you scroll back, and you can listen to it all. But I generally think it starts from the top, and top works its all the way down the bottom. It really does. You got to blame Ten Hag for some of the tactics, some of the players he's brought in, and the Varane situation, and like bringing in Onana. You've got to blame him. Whether he gets sacked for that is a different thing. But again, like I say, if you've only got Eric Ten Hag, the only person behind the scenes scouting and buying players on his own mind with no help from anybody else at all to identify people, you got no hope. You got no hope, Bob hope, have you, really? That's the whole point. You've got no hope. You look at what Arsenal are doing, the players that they're recruiting in with Edu, etc. Yeah, it took him a little bit of time when he first got into the club. Of course it did. And everyone was like, oh, I don't know about Edu coming in, etc. But with his Brazilian link and knowing a lot of players and people respecting him as well, and, how good he was at Arsenal when he was there, it's working out. Man United doesn't have any of that. To be honest, it's probably Eric Ten Hag and the Glazers. That's it. And like I say, he's not going to get called into the office right now because, like I say, Edward Wood looks like Edward Wood. I keep saying that. Jim Radcliffe looks like he's coming in, but it seems to be a little bit of trouble about getting that over the line. And we just want to find out what direction Sir Jim Radcliffe wants to take the club. That's it. It'd be nice to know, but the more it's not dealt with, the more it's going to be a turbulent January transfer window, isn't it? Let's be honest. Rubbish. Crap. But it is what it is. I'm really pissed off with the way that Man United are at the moment. Of course I am, but I love football. I'm a football fan first. At the end of the day, like if Man United were wiped off the face of the earth tomorrow, would I stop watching football? No, I wouldn't. Of course, there's still plenty of football out there to watch. I'd be devastated that my team from when I was younger was not there anymore. But at this moment in time, it feels like they're non-existent anyway. Feels like they're playing on a different planet as well. So that kind of like fits in perfectly with the narrative. But look, overall, I can't see any changes coming to Man United while we got the Glazers there. And I'm not blaming Glazers for on-field things, like I say, but it just feels like the players have got it easy. They can pick up their wage. They can just take away all the responsibility of wearing the shirt, and some of them kissing the badge sometimes when they score. Then the next game, they don't even play in it properly or give the fans some enjoyment. I mean, I'm telling you what, that is some crazy shit. Because there's so many people out there that would have dreamed to have kicked one ball on that field on Old Trafford's pitch. Just kick one ball. Just one. Dream to do it. And these players here, they just don't care. It's just another club that's giving crap loads of money to players to sit on benches, etc., etc. You look at the Sancho situation. You look at the money we've spent on these players. We get robbed and raped by different clubs because they're like, it's Man United. Like, we can easily get loads of money from them, no problem. Like Højlund, how much was that? 70 million or whatever. Imagine if someone like Aston Villa went in for him or something like that. It would have been half that. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely crazy the way that Man United's run at the moment. And I can't see much changing. And yeah, I do see Erik ten Hag going. Do I think he should go? It's difficult. It's really difficult because I wanted him in. I wanted him in more over Poch, and you can see how well Pochettino's doing at Chelsea, can't you? When he gets all the money thrown at him, he wants to buy more players in January. But it's different with Man United because we're going after players that I just don't think fit the bill, and it really sucks. It really sucks. But look, that's football at the end of the day. You can't always be on the top of your perch. Everything in life, not just football, goes around in cycles. And I just feel at the moment it's Man United's time, like it was Liverpool's time, to not be on top of the perch. At one stage in the future, I think we'll start to get there. But again, it depends on who you're getting in to recruit people. And until that day, until we've got some infrastructure and some sort of idea, itinerary, a plan to do what we used to do, and we don't even have to really do that, just get close to it. Just bloody compete. And competing to me is like being in the title race at least by April, at the start of April. And if it gets squashed out, then okay, look, for the majority of the season, you were giving it some. These days, we're out of title races in the first couple of months. By bloody October, it's like no chance. I mean, look at it now. People, I'm agreeing with them. People were even saying that Man United, they won't even get Champions League. It's not even Christmas yet. We're not even halfway through the season, and already, you can sort of see that it's going to be such an uphill climb to get a Champions League spot, and even a Europa League spot. I said Conference Europa League is probably where we're going to be, and I'm not bullshitting as well. You see how Aston Villa are doing. You see how Arsenal are kicking on. You see Man City. Okay, they're having a little bit of a turbulent time at the moment, but they kind of do this every now and then. And then the second half of the season, they really push on and they really contend for it. And like they did last season, they caught up with Arsenal and they went on to win it. Not just that, the treble. So I can't see Man United doing anything like that. I can't see there being a resurgence that quick. And I can't see the summer transfer window next season being good either, with or without Ten Hag. There is nobody else to come and replace Ten Hag. I'd love Ancelotti. I'd have liked him before, but Ancelotti is clearly going to be leaving Real Madrid in the summer. Brazil do want him, but there's some situation with Brazil's national president, I believe. There's literally been a coup and he's been replaced. So now that's been thrown into jeopardy about Ancelotti, whether actually they're going to offer him the job, because the guy before who got cooped out by the Brazilian, I don't know, organization for their football association, are in putting somebody else in, maybe even someone from FIFA. So we could get him maybe in the summer because he's probably going to be out of a job. But then if Real Madrid go, well, sorry, do you want to come and stay? Because we've got Endrick from Palmeiras who's coming over. He's only 17, but he looks like he's the next best thing, mate. Which Man United, we did a show like two years ago on Endrick saying people should look out for him. Palmeiras, 2.5 years ago, look out for him. Who gets him? Real Madrid. People take too long. Like Man United looking for a striker. Yes, I promise you, Endrick's going to be amazing. And you could have got him very, very cheap a couple of years ago. Even Real Madrid didn't get him. It wasn't too bad of a deal, really, for them, for a player who could be amazing. And not only that, they could get Mbappe in for a free in the summer. That's recruitment, people. That's how you recruit, yeah, for your future. Because, yeah, they'll get Mbappe in, but then Endrick, when he's 21, 22, which is in like 5 years' time, that'll be when Mbappe's in his prime. Mbappe might go somewhere else after 5 years or so. Like it's good because you've got a young player and you've got someone in their pomp right now. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. But look, I'm finishing up now. I've got to head out, actually. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Quick comment from Bargev. Conte Athletic, him and his staff have payoffs higher than Mourinho. Hey, probably, mate, honestly. Hey, early doors. Don't forget the Xmas show on the 20th of December, 9 p.m. Yes, people, 20th December, 9 p.m. We've got some very, very special guests. We got a very, 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 very special guest on the show, actually, on the 20th of December. I'm not going to say until he comes on. In fact, I'm not even telling the people that are on the panel. That's how secretive it is. So do tune in for that. And we've got a New Year special where I'm going to be in actual factual Rio de Janeiro for that vlog. So do tune in for the New Year's one, which is on Friday the 28th, Friday the 28th of December. Thank you, everybody, for problem with United and Chelsea feels like your core of elite players never truly get invested every year, whether it's Ronaldo or Varane, fans trash them. Kind of, but I mean, I don't think the fans really trash Ronaldo, to be fair. I honestly don't think the fans are trashing Varane at the moment. I think the fans are trashing Erik ten Hag and saying, why aren't you playing Varane? Clearly, there's been something behind the scenes where he's like said something to Erik ten Hag, or he's not interested in following the footsteps of Erik ten Hag and what he wants the team to do, and he's just benched him. There's definitely some dispute, but we're never going to find out that because it'll just rumble everything. It's just crap. It's me, of course. No, it's not you, mate. You are no special guest. You are no fellow DJ. I'm not even going to tell you, Anthony, honestly. You'll be happy who it is, but I ain't telling you. You do know them. Thanks, Matt, for your time. No, thank you for your time, everybody. Please don't thank me. Thank you for coming here, joining me, and just shouting out some comments back and forth. I didn't realise I'd be on here for 43 minutes. Oh, my God. Time to get a bath, though, with that. Look at this Christmas jumper. Praising Santa for delivering presents. That's his job. I love that. I saw it and I was like, it's brilliant. Yeah, did anyone see him with the magician on I can't remember his name now. Bloody hell, the magician for famous people. I can't remember the name of it. Someone in here, the chat will know, but he was on Sky Sports the other day, Roy Keane, and that, and he was doing some magic tricks. I can't remember his name. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you so much. Great show. Yeah, it was good chatting. Yes, so we'll be back tomorrow, people. Dynamo. There we go. It's Dynamo. Thank you so much, Early Doors. Yeah, watch it. It's quite cool. Roy Keane, man. Yap Stam actually was on a vlog with Gary Neville, Ian Wright, Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher recently. You should go and check it out. Really good stream from Yap Stam telling you about the situation at Man United with him going to Lazio, then going to Milan, etc. And Alex Ferguson said it was such a mistake to get rid of him. I personally think it was too. For 3 years, he was at Man United and absolutely amazing player. But enough from me. We'll talk about that another time. I will see you tomorrow with Brush, 6 o'clock p.m, talking La Ligue des Champions and obviously Gunners from All Corners at 9 p.m. tomorrow too. And the Premier League weekend show on Sunday. And then next week, I think we've only got the Christmas special, and then we're signing out pretty much until after the new year, because obviously I'm away. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Smash a like, share, subscribe if you can. Please do check out Galasso Kits. And until next time, everybody, take care. Arrivederci.